Welcome back to St. Louis, where we have had a fun and phenomenal time here at the Impact Gaming Center. I'm Goran, with me, Cash. Going to keep it sticking with us all weekend long. We have had a quite a long day so far. We're going to keep it digging into the rest of the night. Right now, we've got another best-of-5 series coming up between the Fisher Falcons and Oklahoma Christian. I guess in order to kind of talk about this series, we need to take a look at the standings, because it is very imperative that we understand everything about them to see what the stakes are to get to tomorrow to finish in the Sunday bracket. If you don't get to the Sunday bracket, obviously, your CCL playoff run is done today, your LAN run is done today, and your hopes for a championship are kabloozy. We got the Nwosu Rangers down there at 4. Unfortunately, they are completely knocked out at 0-3. They went 3-9 in the map count, 25% win-loss on the day. Some very close games actually just took the Cumberland Phoenix to a Game 5. They did lose it, but they still took them to a Game 5. Yeah. The biggest difference here, though, is that changes things dramatically for what Oklahoma Christian and Fisher are going to need to improve inside of the bracket. In order for Cumberland Phoenix to make it to Sunday's bracket, to be playing tomorrow, they need Oklahoma Christian to lose flat out. Doesn't matter how they lose, they can lose any sort of combo, 3-1, 3-0, 3-2, doesn't matter. They just need Oklahoma Christian to lose. In order for Cumberland Phoenix to get knocked out, Oklahoma Christian needs to win this upcoming series in any fashion, 3-0, 3-1, or 3-2. So very simple. Oklahoma Christian win, they leapfrog the Cumberland Phoenix into the second slot. If Oklahoma Christian lose, Cumberland Phoenix will stay where they are at that slot up top. The biggest difference would have been is if the Fisher Falcons would have lost to Oklahoma Christian, then if Cumberland would have 3-0'd, then they would have been in with Oklahoma Christian. That scenario no longer exists. So it is either win and you're in for Oklahoma Christian, or the top two stay as they are inside of Group A. Group B, on the other hand, this is where things get even more interesting. St. Clair basically locked their way in to Sunday no matter what, with the 2 3-0s that they had on the day, with a 6-0 win-loss inside of their map count. Wichita State at 1-1 with a 3-3 map count, leapfrog over Mars Hill, and they basically are now going to be playing between that and Texas State. Texas State still has an opportunity to make it into Sunday, but it's going to be a damn hard road to get there. So there are a lot of scenarios at play, but for the groups that are going to be on stream here, specifically Group A, just remember, Oklahoma Christian, if they win, they're in. If they lose, Cumberland is in. Fisher has already locked their way into Sunday. Cool? Cool. Awesome. I'm glad we got that out of the way. Amber, does that make sense to you? Because it makes sense to me.
Yeah, it makes sense to me. You should look into teaching after your COD ventures are over. But yeah, win and you're in, and Fisher have done enough of the work to give themselves a ticket secured for Sunday, where they didn't have earlier today. Yep. Like you said, you did lay out kind of how things could have looked differently and where Fisher's spot was on the line. But now Cumberland in the spot where not quite Fisher fans, seeing as they're hoping to play them tomorrow, but definitely want Oklahoma Christian to lose to give themselves that Sunday championship, berth for the first time. So for Oklahoma Christian, they know what they need to do here. It is against you keep saying the same words, but sometimes you've got to. It's against who, coming into this weekend, was their hardest matchup, is what everyone was looking at to go into. Absolutely. This could be a grand final matchup. Now it's to decide who is playing on Sunday. One of these teams, Fisher gets in regardless. Oklahoma Christian, just to get to Sunday, needs to win this game. So a lot on the line here for Oklahoma Christian. You don't put too much stock in reputation in a sense, but they want the 4-peat. A lot of pressure. Teams have come out swinging against them. So yeah, Oklahoma Christian are going to have to come out and win here tonight in any fashion. They would like to convincingly, just for, I think, even the mental aspect of going into Sunday rolling pretty well, because they kind of got stunned here a little bit earlier and now have to fight for their spot, which is something they're not very familiar with.
Well, here's the thing. If Oklahoma Christian do lose the series, that means that Prada, Gus, and Manny, as well as Cruzy's already technically played his final CCL match, because he isn't able to be here this weekend, so he no longer will be in the CCL because he's graduated. The rest of the boys are also graduating. Derry's the only one that's not graduating on this team, so this could very well be Manny, Prada, and Gus, the 3-time defending champions, last match within the CCL, which is an insane thing to say in a moment where they're not even potentially looking at making it to Sunday. So we're looking at through on what we are going to see throughout our series so far. Scar Map 1 for Oklahoma Christian was their pick. Map 4 is going to be a Den hard point for the Fisher Falcons. Pretty bog standard for what we see out of both of these teams and what they prefer.
Lots of close quarter stuff, even in the respawns, is what I'm excited about too, because I want this to be a 1,000-mile-an-hour, series between these teams. I just think that's when these teams play at their best, is whenever the micro decisions are going to be what influences things at the end of the day. And with the high IQ level that these two teams, especially the history of them, how much they've played together, how much we've seen them over the years, what that's going to look like. I just hope the series is going to be good map picks through and through. And yeah, we're seeing a little bit more of that too, is now we see Fisher pick the French Search and Destroy for the map 2 slot. That's going to be a back-to-back series where we get French S&D at the 2 spot. Oklahoma Christian going to pick Raid Search and Destroy for 5. And of course, we'll do the little dance, pick your poison for map 3 here in a few moments. But early thoughts, I'm not mad about it.
I'm not mad at it either. I think for a lot of the maps that we see here, each team has their own strengths and weaknesses. I think for Scar on the map 1 hardpoint, I think that's where we've seen Oklahoma Christian really lock in that map and mode specifically. And whether it be a map 1 or a map 4, usually they're pretty good on it. It was actually the map 1 they played against Cumberland. We thought they were going to be able to clutch up there at the end. Instead, it didn't turn into what was going to be a fruitful venture.
Yeah.
That was the spark of what ended up being a 3-1 series win for Cumberland, putting him in this spot in the first place. So Fringe S&D, that was the Fisher Falcons pick. I'm actually quite curious to see how they like playing the map and how they're going to be able to move around the map together, what their kind of strategies are, what the play calls are going to be throughout that map, because that could be a very interesting map too. And I wanted to see, not only how Oklahoma Christian counter that, but do the exact same thing that Fisher are going to be able to throw out in a map that, well, really these teams haven't played since last year. Scar Overload map 3. It's Scar, and it's Overload.
2 Scar respawns, I mean,
yeah,
not much more to say.
Exactly. But that's our guaranteed map set for 3 maps, and then we got a Den Hardpoint and a Raid S&D to close things out throughout the rest of this series. So, now that we have maps, now that we have everything to kind of bring up and talk about, I believe that means we are soon to load into this one. Let's talk about this map 1 a little bit more in depth, though. Oklahoma Christian earlier on in the day, one of the things that they have has almost been synonymous with them this weekend when playing Scar Hardpoint is being able to lock down a significant time on P1. And once they get into P2, specifically in the earlier rotations, whether it's the first or second rotation, sometimes it just feels like they almost fall flat at times, and that when they get that hold out on bottom red, somehow, some way, it's always that first wave of kills where either they just get discombobulated or maybe they get overwhelmed, and then all of a sudden that first push from the opponent is what allows them to break in, and then that gives them a good chunk of time. Now, is Oklahoma Christian able to either break back into that or rotate out on P3 and then hold down time? The answer is absolutely yes. But against the Fisher roster, I think it's going to be a little bit different this time, because you're not going to get afforded some of the same opportunities you were getting against Cumberland, same opportunities that you were afforded against in Wosu. This is a much different, much more refined team in the Fisher Falcons. And as I look forward to the rest of this series, not only is it going to be difficult for this Oklahoma Christian team to go out and beat them, but keeping everybody on the same page, cool, calm, and collected. I won't name names, but we were told that there was a little bit of composure loss after the series against against Cumberland. So I just would like to see everybody kind of just keep their cool. If it's a bad map, it's a bad map, whatever it may be. Again, you're playing for your tournament lives at this point now. This is the final do-or-die moment for Oklahoma Christian. We need to see something very positive out of them, and that could just be simply the vibe from everybody on the team and not getting checked after an S&D.
Well, and, that's almost like competitor, rule set 101.
Yep.
If it's a bad map, don't let it carry into a bad second map.
Exactly.
If you take a bad shot, don't let it carry into a bad second. Just forget about it. Go on to the next one. Take the good things that you need to. But like you said, I think for the Oklahoma Christian camp at this point, keep the vibes high. I think that's a great thing to mention because, it was, and if they make it, it is an untraditional route for them. It's a little more contest heavy than maybe they would have preferred comfortability wise. Everyone would love, just to easy breezy skate their way in. So now that they actually have to push back, fight, and like you said, play this refined Fisher esports team, it's going to be something where composure is going to matter. You are going to be tested, and it is going to be, whether it is even a 3-0 or not, I can imagine the series is going to be hotly contested on either side of things. So, as long as everyone can stay on the same page and say, you know what, win or loss, on to the next map, win or loss, on to the next map. Oklahoma Christian stand to be in a good spot. I think Fisher play with a certain level of composure that is very hard to shake. So, even talking the Scar Hardpoint, you talking about how we've seen Oklahoma Christian play, get broken, re-break, whatever their P2 looks like, which again, talking that specifically, and if you don't know, a money hill, just something where people can garner, just a significant amount of time. Oklahoma Christian have not looked confident in that, is the point Alex was trying to make. And so my point in that, just being satisfied with, okay, if we get broken, I like their P2 to P3 transition. It has looked good for them today. So they do have bright spots where if things don't go right, they do know what they want to do off the back end of, maybe a play not going the right. Did we get a full 60? No. How can we translate it to into a front 20, into a new front 40 on new. Again, just a lot of nitty-gritty details. Alex and I have seen so much of these teams over the years, so we could go on for hours about the details of the playmaking ability of, you know, any of these 8 players. We're just excited to get the action, excited as you guys are for their tournament lives, for their, I mean, you said it, it's sad to say, even just it's starting to hit a little bit, but
yeah.
Their last collegiate hurrah this weekend in its entirety. This map and this series could be their last hurrah. You know they don't want to go down on an L. You know they want to keep surging their way forward. They've got to do it against Fisher, who are already guaranteed a spot in the top 4. Can Oklahoma Christian join them here with any kind of series win?
We have seen Oklahoma Christian over the past 4 years in the CCL. Their first championship was fantastic. They did it 2 more times immediately after that in the following years. In the Black Ops 6 MW3 seasons. Now here in Black Ops 7, they want to go for the 4-peat. On the brink of death, we've seen them come back so many times from Death Amber. But this time might be one. That might be too tall to climb. Too tall of an order to be able to bring up at the counter. The Fisher Falcons are the ones who touch first here inside of P1. Full map control. Derry trying to peek out of top green, seeing if he can lay the land down for the rest of his teammates and get some good information. Over by red. You've already got a player up there. The wallbang shots aren't going to be able to connect for a full kill. You get a few peppers in, but more importantly than anything else, with 15 seconds left, it's been all Fisher Falcons on P1.
Really clear out the left-hand side of the map. They want to get the spawn to the top left. You can see that's what they're playing for, and Proto, a big one. Just to try and win, soften that push over on the left-hand side of the map. You do that. You're playing around mid-cut. You don't quite get the airplane push that you would like, but it is complete mid-map dominance for Fisher for the moment. So as Hillston's open, you can just tell Fisher they want to try and work things, get these kills, and give themselves an avenue in. On the other side of things, Oklahoma Christian, they win their ones around the map. They get in early. This is the question we have asked a couple of times of them here. This first wave of kills, can they forward it to garner some significant time? And Manny opens things up with 3 for the moment. Can't get the 4th, but the cleanup surely you would think comes in either way. Time is good.
First significant chunk of time here for Oklahoma Christian. They got a 4-man hit directly through the front. Brack's going to open on Derry. No trophy system to hold him back. Frag grenade will hit on the backside of Jenny. Prada now over the top. Spots a few players out. No, he has the gunfight that he has to take, and he has to win. If they want to go ahead and stay alive at his hard point, he'll get 2 for his troubles. And now another one there for Brack as he rips him off the heady. So as Derry falls, it's 20 seconds that go to the good for Oklahoma Christian. But Fisher Falcons, they'll hop back in. Still very contest heavy. It's going to be Derry the first one out on rotation to P3.
A couple players here just going to play for the back 10. Maybe scoop up some players on rotation, trying to take a route through mid, but mark it for the moment. Gonna have Gus occupying it, gets the kill cut, and now he's trying to get across, but a team nade. I mean, again, just one of those pain points that, you know, goes to say, okay, could this have been easier? Could we have had a better hold as we get over in transition? Sure, in the grand scheme of things, they do get over there. They do get a decent setup. But just those nitpicky details these things come down to at this stage of the game.
Backside turn up top, nothing found. Phantom's now on the push through forward. Prada looks to cook a nade deep. Nothing found on the hard point just yet. Still trying to clear out the backside of green so they can get a full man 4 push onto the hard point. Phantoms gets some help from the challenge over by green. Knows that 2 are coming up through the mid cut right now. He's on 5 in a row, 1 or 2 more kills, and he'll have a Hellstorm. It's just going to take the 1 there, now on 6 in a row. They got utility to use. 50-point advantage now continuing to spread, but it's a contestation on the hard point from Derry that's going to be able to stay down. With 13 seconds left, it's been a lot of Oklahoma Christian playing from the backside of a hard point. When is it going to be their moment to really get out on rotation, lock down some significant time?
I think it's going to come on the backhands of just a clean kill feed. I think in the response we haven't seen that from them in a little bit, where they've had a couple of successful successions of kills. Again, you see Prada out to 11 and 7. We talked about pacing issues, perhaps in a way that was hurting Oklahoma Christian in the respawns, where someone's playing a little too fast, the rest of the team not quite on par with that. That has served to hurt them. It's a 50-point deficit for the moment, but you asked what they need to do to get significant time. I think they need to get everyone on the same page as far as pacing is concerned.
Spawn's going to be bottom red side. Prada looking for the cross inside of middle map, 2 playing the backside of blue. And you got a full spread here for Oklahoma Christian. This is the best chunk of change they've been able to give themselves throughout the entirety of the Scar so far. Derry on the back line looks for the hop-up, going to be able to spot a player out. That's good. Trades in. It's another 4 down here in a 5 spree. Basically, we'll call it a 10 spree between 3 players on the side of Oklahoma Christian. Full 60 seconds is what they have earned themselves here for their troubles. Now they can rotate over towards P5. The guns are starting to heat up. All of a sudden, Oklahoma Christian looking like a much different team.
Derry working through mid. Doesn't get picked there, but able to relay the info that, hey, someone's going to be sitting around market side. End up getting the kill. And now on rotation, you do have numbers and bodies. You do need to get this player in confit out of green. You're just trying to put the players off spawn. Get this intel work. You want to win this 1v, and Gus is going to, so you have numbers for the moment. Closing distance quickly is dark side, though. The numbers are here, and they're looking to push quick.
Right out middle. Looking for a streak of his own, wants to match what Fisher have in terms of utility. Double out their middle, challenges with a pistol, very aggressive. Doesn't get the streak more importantly than anything else. So the over-challenge and the over-commit there. Out their middle map from Prada isn't going to be able to benefit Oklahoma Christian any further than what the streak was to set them up here for P5. Now another slide challenge in here from Confit. Bracket double, they go 3 for their money. A 7-point difference, now closing the gap once again. This is looking like every single hard point Oklahoma Christian have played so far, about dead even going back into P1 on the second set of rotation.
But from this, they had to battle back from a 60-point deficit, so you can't overstate, how big that P4 was for them to garner that much time. It was looking like, 80 to 30. It was like 80-20. So they really needed to get that to get a breath of, fresh air in their lungs to go into this next set of rotations. It was 35 seconds off P1 the last go around for Fisher. So even though you said the guns of Oklahoma Christian have woken up, we need to see it translate here in mid-map, because the first 2 hills, it was all Fisher in market.
Justin through middle, wanted to peek, didn't realize somebody was in market, thought the rest of the team was going to get there. SMG's not quick enough to the punch. Manny on the challenge, right-hand side, Brack will lay down for just a moment as he spots out 3 different players. Information given to Fisher on where the hit's coming from Oklahoma Christian. Back up to 100 HP, challenge up to top green, just want to get some suppressive shots. The rest of the team make their way forward. Nobody out towards plain side. Very kind of just camped inside of middle map right now for Fisher.
Oh, Brack is getting whatever you want from the map, too. I mean, really has made mid-map his home. As an AR, you come to expect this kind of gameplay from him, but it has been laser sharp out of him. And just as I say that, they've done such a good job controlling mid-map. Up to a 50-point lead once again. P1 has been their home, and they've been satisfied with that. P2 now got a little dicier. Oklahoma Christian find themselves in a position where they have to make another quick response. They are already down 50 points again after 1 new hill.
What can you do here on the setup? You got 2 players here from Oklahoma Christian, and you have nobody reading through middle map. Confidence playing the backside of green, and in a full wrap that gets the spawn secured by back green for P2. They knock everybody from Oklahoma Christian back over towards bottom blue. It's going to be a 4-man hit directly through the front. First one to take the gunfight is going to be Derry on the right-hand side challenge. Top red. You got 2 bodies laying down inside the left-hand corner. First gunfight doesn't go their way, and it just seems like flurry after flurry. Every time the Oklahoma Christian roster pushes, Fisher are there to shut them down.
Manny tries to get one, which is a lot of look out to clear out. And sure, able to get one going here, but again, like you said, Fisher just running it over for the moment. 80-point win, or excuse me, 80-point deficit. A clean kill feed finally, but that just only affords them the chance to rotate. That doesn't give them the rotation. That doesn't give them the setup. It just gives them the opportunity to. What can they do behind it?
Gus out front on the hard point. Looking to go ahead, suffocate everybody from Fisher. Off from the green side. A jump up's not going to be able to connect just yet. Brack and Confid there for the first 2, looking to make their way in. Hellstorm going to be invested over the top. Everybody on Oklahoma Christian has been forced back as Derry and Gus will fall as the first 2 inside of this exchange. 40 seconds left on P3. Lots of time bleeding and draining off the clock right now. Oklahoma Christian down 70 points to the Fisher Falcons at the moment, and that gap continuing to climb, trying to get over the 200-point mark of the Falcons.
Scratching, clawing, fighting their way just over to get towards the point. And the AR presence, you think of Brack, you think of Confident running around with the AR Phantoms. Of course, what they've been able to do, just oversight to be able to get hard point time. They've made it look easy for the most part of this. Hard point is, sure, Manny's going to snap and get 2, but again, what's it going to turn into? And I just think the team being so disconnected, Fisher Falcons playing so connected, so disciplined, has ran up the score the way that it has, and now as it feels like, not quite do or die in a sense, but the way the map has gone, it feels like Fisher can rip off 30, 40 points on a given hill. You definitely need to make it stick.
Continuously feeding themselves into the beast. That is the Fisher Falcons roster. Stomach growing gluttonous with the amount of times that Oklahoma Christian have fallen inside the battle. Finally, they will exchange the kill feed back in their favor. P4 is where they held essentially a full 60 the last time through. Trying to do it once again. Still down by a quite large deficit here. Would love some help on the back end from a few more players for Oklahoma Christian as Manny and Prada continue to do things that they have done throughout the entire day of Call of Duty they've played.
Dark side, another tallied through the back door. Breach and clear through 15 seconds. Putting about 2:35. Going to new Oklahoma Christian. Get out. Have a chance to get the setup they want. But Fisher wanting to close this out, you can tell they're not wasting time trying to get through and across. They're going to garner the last bit of scrap, but they're going to immediately try to flip this out. They want this from the back, and as they know that Gus is going to be here, can they take the chow? Can they get the kills? Brack's going to get 1, 2. Can you get the third answer? Yes. Now it's going to be Fisher in control.
And that might be the dagger there. You're going to have one opportunity maybe for Prada to make some noise on the spawn side. You're going to back off to the Semtex. You need to snap for the first one. It's an AR battle up at top green that Brack will come out on top of. Just 8 seconds now for the Fisher Falcons to take map 1 here in a desperate series for Oklahoma Christian. Gus will be in for the contention, lays down right side corner, spots one up inside of top green on the hop through on the window. Still 2 players here. He's got teammates in support over the top as Manny is trying to just hold the front line out. Right now, Fisher knows that they can just set up for a flank around the outside, but they win the gunfights directly through the front. Derry, Prada trades back and forth. They go 3 for 1, and now it's Darkside still spawning in the back. They want to win in here.
He's going to try to get the kill. Can he get the rest? The rest of the players jump down in onslaught and are going to get the way cleared for the rest of Oklahoma Christian to come in tow and get the rest of this time. So they are going to push into a new hill for the moment. They try to maybe hit a rat back in. Fisher, though, playing winner's advantage. I mean, mid-map, map 1 for them. Brack, Darkside through the middle. I mean, this just looks like a song and dance we've done before.
Have your fun, have your way with the Oklahoma Christian roster. The Fisher Falcons in map 1 win by about, let's call it 80 points or something like that. But regardless, despite the deficit that Oklahoma Christian couldn't crawl out of, I think Fisher, for the most part, really just had the entirety of the map within their own realm. It was never a question of, oh, Oklahoma Christian are making the comeback here. You know, how are we feeling at this point instead? It's like, they're just kind of surviving right now. It just kind of felt like they were on the back foot the entire time. It was just like, you know, you're getting peppered up, you're just constant band-aids being wrapped around the arm in whatever game that you're playing, where it's like your HP is constantly draining. It was almost like you're caught in the storm in like Warzone or something like that, and you're just like, can I please get out of this? Can I please get out of this? Can I please get out of this? And then you don't, and you're just stuck trapped in the same kind of cycle over and over and over again. And that's what it felt like for Oklahoma Christian. Yeah, there were great glimpses, there were good moments, but I mean, I hate to be the one to have to say it, but like you kind of have to. And like, look, this is nothing against, you know, Derry coming in for Cruzy COD in the moments like this, but it's tough for him when not only has he not played necessarily the entire year with Oklahoma Christian's main roster, but you know, you're missing one of the most prolific players that has been within Challengers and the CCL within the last 4 years. So it's like, it's no surprise that this team is going to struggle without Cruzy being here in person, but it's just some of the maps that Derry's had throughout the weekend, it's like you have to technically look at that and say that's the problem, even though you don't necessarily want to in a lot of ways. So yeah, it's just unfortunate. It's just the one thing I will say, and I hate to go this long, but like, I would just wish he had more engagements on the map than anything else.
That was really something I picked up on and wanted to call to. It was to kick off the second set of rotations. I think he had 25 engagements, and Brack had 25 kills to that point. And like I said, even if the KD is less than desired, that just tells me he's playing timid. You know, I think he's reserved. I think he's definitely wanting to do well. I mean, of course, who isn't? But I think he's wanting to do well, and I think at that point, don't slow down. You know, just, if you're gonna play pace. Exactly. Gun, it happens. Whatever. Everyone has had absolute bad maps, but at least push the pace and don't hinder the flow of how things are going. Yep. You know, again, playing timid, I understand the stage you're on, what's at stake. I understand being scared in that regard. With the engagement being so low, it's almost like you didn't even give yourself a chance to be effective because you sat out 50% of the plays just by the timidness maybe you were playing with. And again, that's not to put Derry down as a player at all, but like you said, it is just the staunch reality we're facing. It is an Oklahoma Christian roster going up against a full-fronted Fisher Falcons without their IGL, without their primary AR. And again, with Derry playing timid, it definitely isn't going to help Oklahoma Christian. And I hope the talk in that camp, which I know they, you know, we're kind of chatting it up with him earlier, just being like, look, go out and play COD.
Exactly.
Go play COD. There's no, what do we lose if we lose? Nothing.
Exactly.
That's all there is to it. You don't lose anything. So, you know, to play timid, again, I think it just goes to hurt more than even just being a step in goes. So I would like to see just an air of confidence in the Search and Destroy. Obviously, the last time we played Search and Destroy as well, it wasn't great. Go out and play COD. That's all you got to do. Exactly. That's all you're here to do. You don't have to overthink it. And you know, that's such a good team camp anyway that I know the conversation isn't anything other than that. Just a well-refined win for Fisher. You know, not much more you can say, but that is unfortunately at this point the talking point. I know it's only map 1, still a long series ahead of us.
Of course. But
you and I have watched a lot of Call of Duty in regards to saying that's definitely where, you know, there is a sore spot for them. That Fisher is going to press a thumb in and press a thumb in until it's unbearable, and until they get the series win. That is what Fisher is out here trying to do. They know that, and that's how they played map 1.
Keep it up, boys. Ready? All spawn in the back. Call me right there.
All right. I did like that you kind of pointed that out, though. It was when you were talking about there was something that was just in my head, and I had the entire point there, and it just completely evaporated. So let's talk Search and Destroy on Fringe. There was something that you said that I genuinely was like going to actually point to, but oh well.
If
doesn't
it comes
matter
back,
now.
just
If it comes back, we'll go back into it. But now we'll talk about Fringe and the Search and Destroy here in Map 2. Oklahoma Christian haven't played this throughout the entirety of the weekend. I'm not sure if Fisher has either, and if they have, I'm not sure if we have the updated kind of stats page for it overall. One of the things here that I think that I want to kind of take a look to for Oklahoma Christian is, okay, well, if we're going to try to get Derry to push the pace with the rest of the team, if we need to kind of like, if we don't want to slow down what everybody else is doing and kind of throw off the pacing, either A, it just needs to be something where and this is the hard part too, right? You don't want to micromanage somebody to the point where like you're telling them, go here, do this, do
Look
now,
this way,
because
yeah.
like, you know, they're still their own player, and you trust them enough to at least make a play if they need to. It's more so just like you don't want to use them as bait either at times, but like
it's a tough
after an
spot.
0-7 performance, you kind of have to.
Yeah.
So we'll see how it unfolds over the course of the Search and Destroy here. Obviously, lots of talking points to still go into here with Oklahoma Christian, but I want to see them use some more utility with Derry and allow that to just kind of be that first person that gets that peek out. If it's something that they just get a little chip damage in, cool, back off, let somebody else go out and fry.
Setting each other up for success is something that Oklahoma does well. Oklahoma Christian does well. And they've talked about that being a staple to their gameplay is, hey, how can we get other people going? And so that's something they're not going to shy away from. But as you said, just calling to see, okay, what is going to be this initial break? On the bottom side of the map, Derry's going to get info. That's going to let Prada flip around, fly, get one kill, at least damage in for another. Can they get a second? That would be fantastic. That's how the trades come in. The play you had called for essentially unraveled in perfect fashion. And it was at the hands of Derry getting intel first.
Exactly.
Your fast SMG playing in a spot where, look, you get the word, you pounce. That's exactly what happened. Now Phantom's in a situation with the sniper where, yeah, if he could imagine the line.
Oh, I thought for a moment he was going
I had to
to
give it a second.
a little closer to the left, and that was going to connect. But for now, though, I will say, again, you were making a great point there, and I really did enjoy the play because, like, the thing that was happening on the opposite side is the reason I think that they thought that that was clear to push out was because I believe it was Phantoms who was playing inside a middle map, did the hop up to try to get over to look over the half wall there. That's over on the top of, or next to 10 that used to be able to just kind of like wall run on back in Black Ops 3 and just like keep constant checking that. The fact that you can kind of get back to that makes it almost feel more Black Ops 3-ish in this game. But the fact that he checked over the wall, I don't think he spotted out Prada down low, and I think that gave him the clearance to say, hey, y'all are good to go on the side. There's nobody there. It's just a great set of circumstances that lead into a round win, but it's Prada who will open up this one once again. Second first blood of the game here for Oklahoma Christian to the same player, Prada. Manny on 3 in a row looking for something, but it's Brack who's making the flank through. Good pepper shots. Unfortunately, doesn't read that Derry's just kind of playing an awkward corner on the map, and that's another great spot to utilize Derry. Put him in a spot where you're just watching for a flank, make it an awkward gunfight.
Try to catch a player in isolation, and he's able to get a kill. Again, that's part of that. Set him up, but also trust. They trust that he can win that kill. That's why they all hightailed it and ran, because they're like, all right, we're going to go work the bomb, win this 1v, come join us on the site. That's exactly what we've done here. Now they have man advantage, 4 versus 2. Confid going to try to find anything he can. Is now with numbers, they SWAT team clear the site. Can he get anything before getting traded? We're going to slide in. We're going to line up. We're going to get gunned down. Oklahoma Christian, 2 rounds on the board.
There's a better S&D that I've seen out of Oklahoma Christian in just 2 rounds than we've seen throughout most of the day today. There were some games in the S&D where it just was rough going for the side of OCU.
Plaza was fun.
Plaza was fun. That was the one S&D map that was fun for them. It was just kind of bang out city. But other than that, it was mid at best.
Yeah.
Mid at best.
Yeah.
It's good to see them back in this form, though, because, like, again, this all intents and purposes, even with Derry, this should be still a competitive series.
Oh, 100%.
This still should be somewhere where Oklahoma Christian have the ability to not only win this series, but be able to take significant chunks of opportunity on the map, and even maps in totality. So, back to an offensive here. The A site's clear.
Ooh, I mean, Gus just misses him jumping out. There was a sniper, so they still have the info. Nothing's working towards B. You're going to try to look over. Bomb goes down. Can you get someone to overextend a check here? Just over the shoulder. I mean, you know you gave him an ear piercing with that one.
Manny wants to be the one to challenge directly in behind. It looks like Prada's going to be the one to take that first gunfight here in just a moment. Hop up on the box. You've got 3 players all inside of the courtyard here. First one lines up. How about another 2 added to the party as Manny and Derry go with Prada. Last one inside of middle maps is going to be Phantoms with 20 seconds remaining. First gunfight he has to take is 1, but as he turns back around, Prada will say, "How you doing?" inside of the window. Sell him a little gift of death out the window, and a good omen for Oklahoma Christian. He'll go up 3-0.
Just really enjoying how they're playing this Fringe.
Fisher's pick, too,
Yeah.
on the map count. So it's kind of an interesting thing to add in there, too.
Because I haven't seen really anything out of Fisher
All weekend.
all weekend. Yeah,
Yeah.
I haven't seen anything.
It's been everybody. I feel like it's been everybody on broadcast except Fisher.
Yeah. No, and even at that, I haven't even the point I was
Think
thinking
Blair.
was in the search and destroy. I haven't even seen anything where it's not like Fisher scammed around or
Sure.
Fisher's done this, that, or the other. They just really haven't found a soft spot to exploit Oklahoma Christian. And Oklahoma Christian is, again, everyone is just playing so well off of each other right now, and I think that's where Oklahoma Christian plays their best Call of Duty is whenever all 4 players are involved.
You can see the 3 spread here in the train cars back on P4. Deep Nate trying to connect with somebody over. Trophy system out and deployed here from the Fisher Falcons. They'll get some information. This is going to back everybody from Oklahoma Christian off into their spawn side once again. Full wrap back behind Grandma's with the bomb. You got Brack on the staircase, doing everything but technically stair glitching here, trying to get the information. You got 3 inside of 10 looking to maybe all burst out at the same time, but Confidence playing this directly on top of the bomb. Prada, a huge 1v1 in middle map. He's got help coming around on the opposite end, too. Somehow Prada stays alive.
And even if he doesn't get a kill, that's still the biggest win of this. Ooh, he takes a lot of damage, does in fact get out with his life, but on the other side of things, Manny gets picked by Confid. Gus does have the bomb, less than 30 seconds to work with, and it's looking like a bang out on the side. Derry gets behind. Now he's going to try to wrap back to get with his team. Tries to play for 1 on the chase, but his teammates end up turning around and getting the kills. Just 1 player left, and Confident with the fine. Tries to line up 1. The swing comes through the bomb as well. You do the do-si-do. You try to get the job done, but wait a minute.
Oh, Confid. Good God. You saw the Derry Chow on the slide in immediately. You think, okay, well, his teammates should be able to be there as secondary support. Instead of lining up, he lets Derry kind of just go in for the Chow. And you try with the sniper at the end. Dicky-dacky. You got a lead already. You could have swapped sniper. If Gus hits it, though, we call him a hero. And we say that's disgusting. So,
And we say that would have got you into phase in 2014.
honestly, I can't really hate on Gus because, like, I've been pretty sweet. You know what I mean? I've been pretty sweet.
Yep.
0-4 for Brack, though, uncharacteristic. On the insta swap.
Yeah, I mean, I had a burner of a map 1, so yeah, 0-5 to be going into round 5, waiting for that one to start. Definitely something Fisher is feeling, but Phantoms connecting with the sniper, drawing things up at 3-3. Again, his role pretty much play for intel, and if you can get a pick out of that, fantastic. But just passive play defensively, and we haven't touched on it a lot this weekend, but even just talking search and destroy, defensively, you don't have to make a move.
Yeah.
Oklahoma Christian is like, we have the lead anyway, but they're like, we're on defense. They have to make a play at us. Why would we overextend and give something up that we don't want to? So they're snug as a bug over at these bomb sites. They've got Derry watching. I don't know. There's eyes on the cross. He's going to back down. The rest of the team's going to wrap. You're going to see them make that play quickly. And Darkside, realizing it's Derry, they're going to chow it out as well. They're going to try to take up position on this. With the AR, you jump into sight. You lose the gunfight. Gus is going to try to get another damaged out. Has to wrap back now. 1v2. Bomb being planted.
19 seconds left. What's the timing here? Lines the first one up. Knows the second one's on top of the bomb. Oh, Gus has had 2 different gunfights inside of that little corridor there inside of Market. That if he just is just a half centimeter closer on 1 or 2 bullets, all of a sudden you're looking at completely different. Got to give credit, though, to Confid, being able to not only get that bomb down, recognize that he was at a disadvantage in the spot that he was in, wrap on the opposite side of the bomb, use that to cover in his advantage, be able to win that. So although Oklahoma Christian started off with a 3-0 spurt, and they've been winning a majority of the gunfights throughout some of these rounds, all of a sudden, the Fisher Falcons are starting to get a little bit of wind in their sails, starting to fly again.
Brack, the one player you definitely want to see if he gets going. Surely at some point, But across the board, Oklahoma Christian playing fine. But like you said, Fisher starting to piece things together. That's where you start to say, okay, do you make an adjustment? Do you make a call to not play the side of the map Confid's on with how confident he is playing? It looks like his bomb's working towards A in the defense and not really budging on that either.
Very slow round out of the Oklahoma Christian boys right now. Usually they try to show a little bit more face over on the side. Confid weak in the corner. He's got the Hellstorm now. And they are starting to roll really quickly through everybody. Brack finally gets himself on the board, joins the party. Gus once again, can you do something crazy for me, Sharp? You got one directly over to your right. You got one playing the bomb. Confid has no idea that he is here, and they are just like all directly around each other, and he looks the opposite way. So now everybody's going to go unchecked, and he's going to say, okay, what is this? Turns back around, knows that Confid's there with the sniper. Gus, are we? Are we serious? He's going to do that with a smile on his face every time, too. He knows that that's hilarious. He's not going to smile right now because I said something, but he's laughing internally going like, yo, but if I hit that, though? Yo, but if I hit that, though? Because if he would have hit that, I would have said some explicitives.
Yeah.
Curse words.
Mm-hmm.
That would have been really funny.
Stressing me out. This map.
3 rounds to Fisher.
3-0 up. 3 to Fisher. We kick off the back half of the Search and Destroy. Brack gets one on the board. Confid's still on 7 in a row. What things have flipped on their head quickly.
Again, Hellstorm to use. Utility in that back pocket of his, and he's just going to pull it out and start whipping it around on the map. Looks to connect with one. It's a team kill on the dark side. Phantoms gets a little bit over-aggressive, and now it's going to be directly through the top side of the barn. Somehow Confid doesn't connect with it, and now Phantoms will fall. Brack, shaky shots. Maybe that's why he's had such a rough game, at least to start things off here. And as Manny's up in the courtyard, now you got another one wrapping top red. Bomb's going to go all the way back through like, the front side of Grandma's. I think Gus is going to spot it out. They are in a sniper duel right now. Please get me on Gus's POV. Please! 1v2 Confid. Top side of red, spots out Gus. Come on. Dude, they don't want to switch to the Gus POV. They've seen too much already. They said, all right, you know what? We can't watch him miss any more shots. He's going to go for the challenge here. Confid again on the streak here. Wants to go for number 8 and number 9. Only 13 seconds left in the round. The bomb is all the way across the map. He just has to fly out at this point, and it's going to be a pistol and an SMG up close. Good night, sweetheart. Oklahoma Christian finally win another round.
He was due for one. He was due.
He indeed was due.
Slow the roll that Fisher was building for themselves. Gus, it's a sniper shot. They get around win. That's pretty 1-to-1 math to me.
I trust your math, so we'll go for it.
Yep.
I like that.
Yep.
That's good stuff.
It's not like it's been a long day or anything. We are crunching something up in this head. I'm not sure what.
All right. 4-3. Oklahoma Christian once again have themselves a lead. Little bit of wiggle room to work with. Phantom's backs all the way off. Stun check out, and he's going to know at least 2 or 3 are there.
Developing play. When things break loose, though, they absolutely do. As Manny's going to get a couple. Gets eyes in the third. Really just doesn't need to die here. Playing patiently to say, okay, is someone going to try to reach, or excuse me, overreach in here? Skip a kill. Sure. 4 for the round.
Why not?
Got too impatient. I mean, Fisher's a team that's confident enough to want to take that, right? To not wait for objective to go out and say, hey, let's try and get a cheeky timing. And they just played around it. I mean, again, these teams have so many reps against each other that it was just Manny saying, like, let's just play as patient. They're going to get antsy. They're going to want to chow. We don't have to put bomb down just yet. So just heads up. And again, everyone in tow to play trades. Just
That was so weird. Not only did I see he got the first 2 kills inside a barn on the staircase there. He also got the last 2 kills in the barn staircase. Not many rounds on Fringe. Not only do you see all 4 players go inside a barn, but it happened in the same little staircase there. Usually you don't even see 1 or 2 gunfights happen there, regardless throughout a map. So, bit of a strange round here. They went 3 for 3, and now Oklahoma Christian has got 2 straight. Up through middle map, everybody is gone. It was a gamble stack over on A for the defensive side of Oklahoma Christian. They give up the entirety of B, feeling, I guess, quite confident to be able to retake this site on the opposite side of the map up north.
Well, and that's what you're going to do. If you're going to use util and tac, you've got to make use of it because you're going to rotate to the site. You're not going to have it, so your play has to develop quickly, and that's exactly what Fisher did. Just a perfect demonstration of, hey, bait and switch, make a little noise, run over to B, get the bomb down.
Oh, my.
An absolute hammer for a pistol to take that one. 3 fall in succession. Last one up's going to be Manny. He's like, I've had a few gunfights here before. Absolutely nukes Confid off the map. Now has a couple more in front of him.
The timing is impeccable. Directly behind one. Has another one over towards his right-hand side. If the reaction snap would have been there, cool. If he would have got through the window, maybe gives himself a chance. And you can see the smile on his face. He's going like, but imagine though.
Everyone's had their moment for Oklahoma Christian.
I guess the big story now, though, is just kind of watching the rest of the Fisher Falcons' offensive defensive rounds kind of develop throughout what we've seen so far. Because that 3-round stretch that they had was awesome to see. And I'm glad that they were able to get to that point. And then Oklahoma Christian, when they rip the Band-Aid off and they go flying back out at it again, it's like, okay, well, it's just a byproduct of Manny, Gus, and Prada all playing well. Derry being able to be supplemental in these rounds as well. Now, I want to see that kind of get back out to it, but Brack has gone from an 0-5 standpoint to 5-8 on 3 in a row. And we have now the opportunity to get back over here in towards middle map. Gus with the sniper. Oh, the timing.
Payoff. Manny 11-4. Just gonna back down, rewrap. Really minimal info, barring, okay, we've got bodies on A. You're not quite sure what mid-map looks like. I mean, there's someone under Gus's nose, and sure, he gets one. Immediately traded out. 2-2 to go once again. Sure, bomb is over here. Derry kind of just waiting. Playing the info game as you're gonna have Manny with bomb, having to make a play. Don't love it. I understand it.
For the map, Derry. First kill. Second one. Oh! The trace was good for the first few. Almost able to lock it in. Chin up, big fella. Come on. One final round, round 11. A search and destroy that feels like it could be the swing in the series to give momentum to Oklahoma Christian, or it could be the pitfall and the nail in the coffin that solidifies what could very well be a 3-0 for the Fisher Falcons going into the overload. Still a lot to be played out, of course, in the rest of this series, but that's just kind of the feeling that I get from it. I don't know if you feel the same, Amber, but I'm sure you probably do because you're sitting here shaking your head, and I know they can't see that, but I can.
Yep, that.
But here we go, round 11. Lock it in, boys. Phantoms and the rest of the Fisher Falcons. They've had a lot of success throughout the middle of the map the last few rounds. Deep nades over towards the A site. Doesn't connect on anything just yet, but they do weaken one up. No lives taken off the board just yet. 15 seconds gone. Full B site control. It's going to be down to Oklahoma Christian to retake the site once again on the gamble stack from A.
Bomb not going down just yet. And there's a retake, and they're just going to overextend. I think they're going to try to catch them on the rat back and get these kills.
They go 1 for 1. Gus out there for another. 3 versus 2 for Oklahoma Christian. Trying to put the nail in the coffin here inside of map 2. Completely shut Fisher Falcons out from the comeback here on the map and go home feeling pretty. 1 versus 3. Dark Side versus Gus, Prada, and Derry. First one, right side corner. Challenge. Met. Second one, lines up. Can't win the 1v. Oklahoma Christian in map 2. Going to be able to lock things down. Find their way back to a 1-1 standstill. And again, they must win this series if they want to make it to Sunday.
And it does not matter how it looks. If it goes to a map 5 and they get the win, does not matter as long as they walk away with 3 in the win column. So it doesn't need to be a pretty series out of them here. That search and destroyed was interesting. Got off to a good start for him. Looked pretty polished in the sense of, I mean, they were going out, getting good round wins, playing well on the bomb, all 4 players working off each other. You walk out with 3 first bloods, you walk out with 3 round wins on the back end of it. I mean, they still win the lion's share of them for the search and destroy in its entirety. You knew Brack was going to get some kills on the board. You knew he was going to kind of show up and start to make things happen. So Fisher was going to always put together a response you have to feel at this point. But Oklahoma Christian do a good job in round 11. I like the play out of Fisher to just kind of try to catch them on the rat back and not just go for the plan. They overextend beyond the bomb, try to catch them as they're trying to take positioning in barn. Sure. They usually lose the gunfights. I think that's one you can live with if you are Fisher. You're like, if that one works out, fantastic. We catch them off guard. You just lost the gunfights, put yourself in a bad spot at a numbers disadvantage, and you end up losing the round. I don't think they're sweating it that bad. Oklahoma Christian, happy to get one on the board, though.
Absolutely. Take a look at the stats one more time, and I mean, between the three main guys on Oklahoma Christian, you look to Manny, Gus, and Prada. 32 between the three of them. Lots of non-traded kills, tons of damage that comes out on top of it. 3 first deaths went to Manny. Sure, gets a blood for it, but I looked at Prada there. Those first 2 rounds that we watched, 2 bloods immediately early on in the game. The one where he laid down inside of the courtyard between Tin and between the A site, and then another one where he was able to find success out through middle map. A lot of good stuff there from Oklahoma Christian. Finally, against the Fisher roster, we start to see them fighting back a little bit. Those first 3 rounds really were kind of an exciting moment for us to watch this Oklahoma Christian roster. And yeah, there it was right there.
You're alluding to, yeah. No, it is exciting to see them kind of piece things together. And those first couple of rounds were so well executed also. I mean, again, to come here, we had the POV change, but I mean, the fact that we jumped POVs and then 3 gunfights went with Oklahoma Christian, I thought surely the player behind box was going to be able to get one. But yeah, it just was good. The calls coming through, everyone knew what they needed to do. I mean, again, you even saw on the scoreboard there he had 3 assists, which was second highest on the team, which again, I mean, just dealing good damage and just getting good intel relayed. So he was involved in a lot of the plays there. We talked about how much that had shied away maybe in the respawns. You go to a map 3, another respawn where you just want to see that trend continue. Search and destroy, it's a little easier, right, to stay in the mix because things are a bit slower, but that just shows the confidence Oklahoma Christian have to say, like, yeah, it's not some ugly stepchild situation. Let's get in the mix. Let's go execute this play. And again, he played his role well. There were 3 rounds where Oklahoma Christian were facing a man disadvantage clutch situation. He was in one of them. Gus was in 2 more. So there were situations where they could have pulled off, you know, kind of something to win the search and destroy earlier. Regardless, I think it was still a good team search and destroy out of Oklahoma Christian. One where their S&D has looked shaky of what we've seen of them today, which has been a lot of search and destroy. So to go get this one, I know they're feeling good. We go into another respawn where, again, we're drawing up 1-1. You got to feel for either of these teams going into map number 3. Oklahoma Christian, as you have stated, want to, no matter what it looks like, get this done. So yeah, the more maps they can take early on, faster they can close the series out, fantastic. That's what they would love to do.
All right.
Watch out then.
Nice.
We find ourselves in quite the peculiar situation now, Miss Amber. A 1-1 series. God, who would have thought?
Not me.
For the final time, potentially, for Oklahoma Christian, being able to play on LAN.
Against Fisher.
Not only as a team, but yeah, how symbolic of a story is that, actually? It's almost poetic in a sense that the last match that they would have to win would be
all by the sword on.
Something on LAN against the Fisher Falcons. Poetic justice. Put it in a song, something like that along those lines, I believe, is what someone named Kendrick said a long time ago. I'm tired.
Me too.
I am tired. But it looks like the boys are standing up. They're having a conversation. They're talking all that kind of stuff. Should be getting into match here in just a second, but I believe since we are seeing them kind of just chop it up right now, there's not too much to break down or digest, so I'm going to just kind of say let's throw it to a break real quick. We're going to get some refreshments, and by refreshments, I need caffeine. So I'm going to get some caffeine real quick. Amber's probably going to get some caffeine real quick. We're going to lock in, and we're going to have fun with the rest of the series and the matches that we have for the rest of the night here in St. Louis at the Impact Gaming Center. There it is.
That's the one.
There it is. Like I said, long day. We'll be back after a short break. Don't go too far. CCL LAN 2026 continues. Where Oklahoma Christian and the Fisher Falcons are playing in the most important match of the night, more so for Oklahoma Christian than anything else. Oklahoma Christian in a must-win situation with this series if they want to improve on to tomorrow and make it into the Sunday bracket to fight for a championship instead of placing what would be a generalized top 8 here this weekend. It has been a perilous series for them so far. The first hard point was not all that close. The search and destroy goes round 11. We're tied at 1 apiece with the respawn going Fisher's way, with the search and destroy going Oklahoma Christian's way. Now we find ourselves in an overload for map 3, where the Fisher Falcons once again look to reclaim the lead. Does Oklahoma Christian have something in them to stop them? Find out this week on Dragon Ball Z.
It looks like Tylenol might be the answer. I know my head is jumping. Back to Scar. For respawn, we touched on it as, you know, the map set was and vetoes were going through. Look, Scar. Map 1. Went Fisher's way pretty convincingly. Brack had a big hand in that. And just thinking back to it, what stood out to me the most and what I think I called to the most in that map was just their mid-map pressure. It's a very small map. So if you can control mid-map, you control a good portion of ways people are going to get around. You have mid-cut to look through, you have market you can have someone sit in, and you just have quick transitions to really any of the four corners of the map. So Brack had that locked down. The ARs, Phantom, Confid really got going there as well. Just for the Fisher side of things, I know we called to every player and having, kind of their presence felt. Here, I think you would agree engagements up for Derry is going to bode well for the Oklahoma Christian squad. Manny's going to get out early. That's going to be 3 in the feed. Can't get the 4th on the cleanup, but I think surely a trade comes in soon. I guess not.
Well, you can pop a 3-piece for the one time on the opposite end. How about Darkside does it himself? Confid's still here inside of market looking to push his way forward. He's got 3 bodies there, 1 top blue, 1 bottom blue, 1 out towards red, trying to play the cutoff on the pinch, and it's just a nade that hits the car perfectly. Brackets the explosion. Prada will fall for it. And although they're still getting pushed out on the spawn side right now, Brack is going to get stunned all the way back at 36 HP. They'll live to fight another day. The wall bangs through the fence, won't be there. Fisher Falcons score first.
Pushing pace early is going to be Manny. Wait, there's just handshakes timing with Darkside now as he's going to be back with his team right off spawn in the face of the Oklahoma Christian players. And at range with the SMG, you aren't quite able to get that gunfight taken. You comment to your team, you're hoping they win the gunfight kills. Now as everyone for the Fisher team wraps back, they're going to scoop, they're going to slide, they're going to score, and for the good, try to get the kill, but Derry will get a couple, not before 2 are punched in here early. Not 90 seconds into this first half. Fisher Falcons.
On the back end of Phantoms being able to phase directly into the goal. Derry looks for another one on the opposite end, and it's basically just going to be another 4 down. This time, Confid wants to give himself a hand and a try at being able to take this one and Taylor make itself all the way back into the scorer side. Instead, will wrap it all the way back through green, play it into the spawn. Knows that he wants to play it out towards the plain side, and that Fisher are much more comfortable playing out there on Oklahoma Christian. And they feel like they can absolutely win those gunfights. 2 kills go their way. Trade on the dark side. Now a push directly forward. Prada wins a 1v, but is forced with 11 HP. And now this is going to go basically coast to try and get in. Only 1 final player remaining. It's going to be Brack. And as he looks for those 2 players that are forcing their way forward, looks like they might just let this one reset, get back out towards middle map unless someone has something to say about it here.
No, Fisher might give this another look, and I think they will. There go the kills.
Might reset.
Reset the last moment. Oh, man. I mean, a break for Oklahoma Christian, I'll give them that. But, as you catch your breath and look to kind of reset your footing already, and in pushing the A site like it never did reset, is going to be Fisher. 3 on the board.
Not much that they can do. Defense Swiss cheeseable. I promise that wasn't a Derry joke. That just kind of came to me as this perspective changed. Confident double on 4 in a row. Trying to slow the roll of Oklahoma Christian. All these players have had long days, long nights. Have been playing a lot of Call of Duty today. You can see the fatigue starting to set in on some of the decision making. Some people getting a little too aggressive. Some people playing a little bit reserved. But I promise you one thing. Everybody playing with their hearts right now. Oklahoma Christian. The Prada on board. Still trying to survive here in the middle map. They're going to get a somewhat close spawn over by the bottom side of B. Over on P1, Prada turns back around into the market. That's 3 down. This is the first opportunity they've really had. How about you give him number 4, Prada? Hey, how you doing? We'll see another one slide its way in here for Oklahoma Christian, and for the first time, they set themselves up with a nice spawn trap over by green.
And all it took was 1 good wave of kills, right? It doesn't need to be some crazy effort. We have to play so well for 2.5 minutes to get things done. No, you just be in good positioning around the map, get a good wave of kills, and that'll get you a point on the board. You just chip away at it. You're not going to get it all back in one go. Try to replicate what got you success there. Prada got out, mid-map, able to snap and get some kills, give him some support players, look to work the objective around that. Of course, much easier said than done. But this team knows what they need to do to be able to get points on the board. That was a good way to do it to get 1. Now less than 60 seconds. You're going to try to at least stop Fisher for sure from punching 1 in, but if you get the window, don't be surprised if Oklahoma Christian try to make a push, try to make a last-second play to get 1 in before the half.
I would have laughed. It was like, yeah, let's just do the same thing again. Try to find the 4-piece.
Yeah.
Which in theory would work.
It would.
And it should work again if they could get, the spot where they could replicate that. With a Manny deep nade. You got one playing out by Blue. Still now making their way forward. They haven't grabbed the payload just yet. It looks like it's going to be Phantoms to go back, grab that. Maybe pushes his way forward onto it. Derry clears him out. It's a pistol challenge immediately, but Manny able to save it and help from the top side of blue. It's a Brack attack back on the slide. Slam of blue, though, as he hits the half wall. Now 2 more bodies in front of him. Oh, almost found the final one. Derry here, 8 seconds left, trying to grab onto this. It should reset here in just a second, and it absolutely will. And they might be able to grab that in time. They're going to have one final push here with 30 seconds left. They've cleared out the spawn side. 3rd kill falls. 4th one there. Should be traded. And they will say good night to the half with a crispy 4-0 lead.
4-1.
Oh, it is 4-1. Dude, good shout. Good catch.
Yeah.
That's good. That's good out of you. Good eye, kid.
My net is just a metal ring right now. There's no actual, no nylon. So, yeah, good catch indeed.
Well, we will continue into the second half with a 4-1 scoreline, thanks to Amber.
Yep. Something's crunching up there. I don't know if it's numbers. I don't know, but we are still chomping at the bit.
Darkside 20-14 in that first half. Very influential member on the roster of being able to continuously get out and attack forward as the lead blocker for the Falcons. You had Brack, who started out a little slow, then started to really tee up. Got himself a couple of captures, ended up with 3 in that half. Phantoms tagged on the last one. Confid been there, of course, every step of the way with these burly and brolic men that continue to fight here on Scar. Darkside in the back line, continuously pushing the line forward, getting inside of the opponent's spawn, and there's not really much that they're able to do. The last one was laying down, just let it go in and said, I don't want to chow you. It's like you're watching LeBron go up for a post and you're like, well, I'm just going to step to the side. I really don't want to see that in front of me.
You're not taking a charge in that moment. Quick one on the board. A minute off the clock. The duo of Manny and Prada not really getting things clicking here. Just another respawn where, yeah, it's been challenging for them to get on the same page. Usually Scar, we've seen them do damage earlier today and this weekend, running around in tandem. If there's a team that can kind of
look at this flank.
Counter that play would be Fisher. Darkside, gotta finish your food. Gets the one, teammate for the other. Gus gets in. For the Oklahoma Christian side, back to the drawing board.
Well, the flank would have came through in enough time. I don't know if he would have gotten to the back of the 2 players that were pushing the device directly into the spawn of Fisher, but it would have been a lot closer, and it might have given them a chance. Problem is now they got to go across 4 individuals who are all playing the back line here. It's a jump challenge across, tries to slide it in. Second player there, now 2 more trying to push it through the back end. But realistically speaking, right now for Prada at least, you're just planning to play the market. Got 1 directly to your left inside of middle map, just trying to play for information right now. Darkside, I'm loving the spot that he's playing, and this is going to let him get behind enemy lines. Might be able to find 1 or 2 for it. Instead, he gets spotted out at 17 HP.
Brack will be the one to scoop. 1 person ahead of you. You get the pinch through mid-cut out of there, so you're able to at least chop that down for the moment. Now you're going to have the wrap back out of the Falcons players. Maybe just to keep themselves in the position to contest the objective. Oklahoma Christian going to seize the opportunity. Kills make it a lot easier to make that cut through mid. You're able to get 1, Gus. Now the first player pushed up, so you do have to kind of grind to a hole here for the moment on this push. You're really just trying to make your own flank shoot as well if you want this to develop, right? You cannot let something kind of just pierce you from a side avenue to support this play. It has to be the responsibility of Derry to get eyes on. Or excuse me, product.
Let's go with the payload. Trying to work this way forward. Unfortunately, though, Brack has been there. And it's flanked in through middle map. You were able to get 1 if you were Gus. This allows really an immediate pickup and an opportunity to flip this offense to the opposite side because you've got somebody pushed so deep into the spawn side. It's force spawning Oklahoma Christian red. They'll slide in. They tried for it. They got him weak as hell before he was able to touch the point. Unfortunately, though, wasn't enough to stop it from coming through. 6-2 for the Fisher Falcons. 2 more scores to close out map 3 and send it to map 4.
Less than 2 minutes to work with. For Oklahoma Christian to battle back, they got to get 4 scores just to send it to overtime.
Oh, wow.
Tried to hit the turn and burn, didn't quite connect there, but the teammates good on the trade. 3 down, mid-map open. You got to get Darkside taken care of, and he has had his way here on Scar. Up to 34 kills, 21 deaths. Been the roaming slayer for Fisher, and impact being felt on the Oklahoma Christian side of things now as they scoop objective. Less than 90 seconds left to work with. It's another airplane push, but it's going to have to be a little bit snappier, Alex, if they want to get something in.
Phantoms, top side, plane, doesn't see him, doesn't spot him. Isn't able to walk away with the kill. And it's Derry, who unfortunately now gets cut down from behind. So Halo going to be making its way forward once again here in just a moment. 2 players spread throughout middle map. It's a double nade from Brack, a popcorn if you will. 34 from Darkside in this map, leads the lobby, leads everybody on the Oklahoma Christian side by quite a decent margin. Confid looking to go ahead and slide this in for number 7. Once again, just another case of not enough damage before the slide comes through. 1 score away, 45 seconds left. Now it's just about, okay, do we waste this time or do we just end it here for the Falcons?
Kills coming through. Looks like they might just try to get it done here. The pistol chow out of Brack. Over the top to spawn, everyone gets taken care of. Pick your poison at this point, close it out, let the time run. Either way, Fisher walk away with the map.
One last opportunity for a score from Oklahoma Christian. 18 seconds down to 15. 15 now turns to 13. Prada's just continuing to run around, and they're going to be able to bring this out of their base. Darkside now wants to push this across the map. He's got a 39 bomb. Can he go ahead and cap it off with number 40? He tries to chow it with the pistol. With 2 seconds left, that will officially go ahead, and I thought it would do it. I forgot that if he still has the bomb, it's okay. Thank you for the team kill in the back, good sir. Fisher Falcons, map 3 winners, 2-1 series lead.
You got to it somewhere around halfway through, but maybe the fatigue of the long day of playing C Oklahoma Christian, less and less able to, you know, they're swinging, and if they are landing, it's not as intense as it was at the beginning of the series, or even at the start of the day. But we saw them. I just think Oklahoma Christian maybe to this point running out of a little bit of gas. Fisher, it's just a constant onslaught. Fisher doesn't play streaky, they don't play hot and cold. It's so consistent that where you falter and waver, their game plan just doesn't change, and that's why they're just so good just grinding away at these teams, just applying constant pressure throughout series within the maps. They get out to a lead, they don't really look back. The map 2, again, we talked to for Oklahoma Christian to go out and win. It was on Fringe, newly reintroduced to Black Ops 7, though not new to really any of the players. Still one that maybe you don't have formulated exactly how you want to play it. Fisher also guaranteed Sunday gameplay, so Oklahoma Christian battling from deficit once again. Fisher with 1 map to close it out. Oklahoma Christian, they win it in any fashion, and they find their way into Sunday. But the way Fisher are looking right now, more so maybe the fatigue on the Oklahoma Christian side of things, starting to become a conversation piece, because it seems like Fisher, again, just that slow kind of grind away of just, they're just going to move themselves through the series.
39 to 25. That's a great performance out of Mr. Darkside. Almost 4K damage. 38% on the accuracy, but honestly, I'm going to be completely fair. A lot of the overloads, at least in that first half coming from Brack, were simply beautiful. Yeah. Magical, if you even will. And I think a lot of that came down to a couple things. Number 1, they were winning the gunfights. Mm-hmm. Number 2, he was playing effectively kind of runner man, where he was kind of just like bouncing between 2 different directions, making sure that he could like kind of just get a jab fake. And number 3, they were shooting really well. That's my analysis. I hope you enjoyed that.
I did.
Awesome. I'm glad you did. So
no, really, Brack has been just a staple for them.
I mean, Brack is a guy who has been around for. Dude, he's been around since the Midnight roster in BO4, at least as like a staple name, where that team was at the like god tier at the beginning of the game, and then ever since then, everybody's pretty much known Brack. It's like, okay, well, he's been a top 4 challengers perennial player. You can say top 2 at times, like top 4 perennial challengers player every single year. Yeah, he has been a top 3 CCL player every single year. And it's like, nobody sits here and disrespects Brack, I don't think, in a lot of ways. It's just like, he's not forgettable. He's definitely memorable. Yeah. I just like...
Well, if you're... Yeah, it's even in the sense of, like, if you're even remotely new to this, even in the last couple of titles, yeah, Brack is not new to any of this. So, Mr. Consistent, I mean, those are just the numbers you're going to get out of him. He started, I think, a good point even to the series, just to kind of further prove that point. 0-5 in the Search and Destroy, went on a 5-2 spree. Just someone who doesn't stay in a slump long, always knows how. He's been playing long enough to know that, okay, this is exactly how I'm going to get myself out of this, how I'm going to be effective for my team. A very selfless player in that regard. So to see him put up the numbers that he does, to be as consistent as he is, to call to him every single map, every single mode, every single series, that's just what he does at this point.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we've got a Den hardpoint coming up next. And, man, this is a tough one because now, like, at the beginning of the series, it was, 0-1 deficit. We go 1-1. Now it's a 2-1. Now this is Oklahoma Christian truly facing the brink of defeat. And I think it's really starting to set in, at least for me. Hopefully other people that are watching this kind of feel the gravity of this situation as well. But obviously, with Cruzy not being able to play this weekend, he has played his final CCL game throughout the regular season and into the playoffs. Oklahoma Christian now with Gus, with Manny, and with Prada, they're playing their final CCL matches. So the big four of Oklahoma Christian, this is the final time that we could potentially be seeing them inside of this series if they end up losing to the Fisher Falcons here. If they don't push this to a Game 5, this is the complete ending of the Oklahoma Christian dynasty that was made and cemented here within inside of the CCL. And that's a monumental moment in a lot of different ways, because we have record breakers, we have record takers, we have household names, and we have one of the most winning, if not the most winning team that we have had within the CCL's history with this team, beating out even the old Northwood with Fame and Flames and all those boys. So it really does suck seeing this and saying that out loud, that this could be their final game. So if it's going to get sent out, gentlemen, let's send it out with a goddamn bang.
Map number 4, Den hardpoint. Is it not the end? Really tough to Oklahoma Christian to continue this series on, to give themselves a chance to fight for Sunday. It is far from over, but yeah, it is definitely not easy for them the rest of the way. They know that the players feel the way. Alex was able to shape it up in a great way to say, hey, this is really what they're playing for. Yep. It's more than a ticket to Sunday, right? These guys do not want this to be their last map, last series together as a core 3 with Derry filling in. But you've got to see it work. You've got to see it come together here and in succession for the next 2 maps. So far, perfect start through the middle of the map for Fisher. For the moment, you're going to get Gus across the 50-yard line just to be able to get to this point. A crew sum for the moment. Who's going to get a foothold first? It's been Fisher kind of going where they want to in the respawns now. Oklahoma Christian are going to have to make the adjustments necessary to walk away with a map win. They just need to string together some hills, I think, is what's going to be big for them. Get a good transition. Getting time in one hill is great. String it to something else is what I want to see.
Man up to the side of P2. Confid, how about a 3-piece for him and a grenade that comes in through Dark Side? It is not the start that you were hoping for from Oklahoma Christian. Not necessarily the map pick here from the Fisher Falcons, but you will absolutely take this every single day of the week, especially with the start that you've been getting at the moment. Everybody from the roof side now pushing through from Oklahoma Christian. You've got 2 bodies that you want to put immediately on the inner side. One's going to go outer. Slide challenge in for Manny. He's not able to connect on anything. Prada still here with 55 HP. Pops up, snaps to it. How about the pistol to go ahead and put the exclamation mark on it? Can't find the final one. Spawns in the back. Phantoms will trade a 3-piece of his own. And that's just insane back-to-back sequences. And it feels like that's happened throughout the entirety of this match in every single map we've played.
It really has. Oklahoma Christian have come out and found a way to make a big play. Prada's done a good job at doing that, and it just seems like it's completely mitigated. And I think on the backside of that, Phantom should have streaks now. I know he was sitting hill, though he hasn't got another kill. I think he might have streaks to this point, which is just going to be another thing you have to keep in mind this early on what they want to use. But I think they have bigger things to focus on, you know, barring whether the fact that Phantom has streaks or not. Already out to a 94-7 lead. Oklahoma Christian with a couple kills may have their first look into the site. But Phantoms continuing to moat down here. Team kill comes in, wrapping on a 7-3.
Well, this is not the way that I was hoping that Oklahoma Christian would potentially start the series, where it could be the final time. Let's take a listen in with the Fisher Falcons here and see how they continue to roll as we rotate over to P4.
Hold on, I can pick him. I can kill him.
I spawned old, bro. I'm wrapping.
He went up front, bro, in the cruddy-ass corner, Brian.
One shot.
There's
two front.
I'm gonna put the
Front
right.
lights.
Outer, bro. He's already there.
I spawned so far.
Yeah,
I'm trying to help you through right. Give me a second.
Yeah. Ah,
They might try to
shit.
chow ladder, by the way.
Okay.
In small
Nice.
zone.
Nice.
One outer.
Come chow ladder, come chow ladder.
Yeah, I'm
Brian's
coming.
in the back.
I'll slide for you.
Brian's in the back dead. I'm walking back.
Go straight. Nice, good job. Let's get
He's
down.
on the back. We got time. He shot at her.
Nice, good job. I'll go spawn.
Ladder,
One's on the
Nading in.
red desk, one's on the red desk cutting, I'll kill him.
Already did.
Red desk cutting.
I have trophy on
I'm
time.
gonna live down at her.
Yo, in the front window.
He's just like ironing, dude.
That one.
Two in the
I'm
window.
backing up,
One
I
window,
gotta
two
back
outer.
up.
No.
They could hit you for a second.
Every out.
Go away.
One shot. One shot.
No,
Outer.
outer,
Sweet.
one shot. Back outer, one shot. Nice.
Can he?
Window, left guy.
Nice.
Nice.
Good time.
Yeah.
There's one
Good time.
server, server,
Okay,
server,
I'm
server.
getting it.
I don't know where that guy's server went. Server weak.
Two holding couch.
Server's a bullet.
You're up there. I'm just living.
He's our front server.
I'm just making him look from P2.
Good play, man.
Top window, dark weak, bro.
He reached out. He's in our top window.
Dead.
Nice, jump.
Might have to make a play, man.
Rush to me.
I'm getting
Rush
out.
to me, dead.
Nice, bro.
I'm trying low, nice.
Be
Nice.
cut,
One
be
be cut
cut
in time.
in time.
Times, like,
Be cut,
they're low
be cut.
right. Laying down,
cut,
laying
be
down.
cut.
Be cut, kill me.
He cut that.
They're front, nice too.
Nice, bro.
I look at
Yep.
it.
So I'm 90% sure that was Oklahoma Christian that we were listening to and not the Fisher Falcons. But that is completely okay because I got to hear the comms of Oklahoma Christian and they didn't seem all that bad. Despite, the deficit that they're facing right now, it really didn't seem all that bad.
No, they don't seem completely, checked out of the situation. You can tell they were still trying to manage the situation and calling out where everyone is. Like you said, the comms, for all it's concerned, they sounded good. Here on P1 seems to be a significant chunk of time for them as well. Don't even necessarily have to draw attention to the deficit for the moment because Oklahoma Christian still with an opportunity here, rotating the new. Again, they just need, like you said, they haven't had that big pop-off play that they've been able to make something happen behind. That is a good way to get it started. Clean time off a new hill. We said they need to change something in transition. This could be the start of that. Looking good for the moment.
Yeah, you want a catalyst kicker. Just like Gus and Manny have some fun, run around together. Product, change, and the exchange inside of the hard point. Goes the way of Fisher, but the spawn's still deep in the back, out by ammo. Oklahoma Christian now on the push forward. Darkside inside a couch. Wraps back to the rest of his team, knows that there's going to be a significant hit that's coming through here from the garage side. Teammates should have the information. Jump inside of the hill is going to be going to Manny. Rack trades immediately. Prada still here. He finds himself a double, and that's going to be all 4 down for the back 20 seconds.
There, you're going to stay behind for the scrap. One player falls in transition. 2 slip through. A big one be here between that and Confid. Able to get the trade at least. Confident able to make a lot of big plays here, but you throw it for the moment. You don't have the numbers though, so Fisher here. You're going to be early. You're going to be asked to break again. Mid-map control would be fantastic. Brack's going to get eyes on it first. Brack's going to get shots on it first. Price is averted. Now to the south side of the map has to be this push.
In through tower, Gus looking for the first kill. Isn't able to connect on the shots to Timmy Phantoms. Manny there with a grenade out towards middle map. There's a second one there. Full contestion in, and a challenge that came from Oklahoma Christian. They still got bodies here. Darkside with 10 HP. Somehow, someway doesn't fall. Prada just got way too aggressive. Said, I want to hit this Huey.
Five points away, 200-point mark. Fisher with the pro on their lead. Getting ready. And into Sundays, what their eyes are forward towards. Darkside in these respawns. Having himself an absolute time.
He has been a different level of himself throughout this weekend so far. Obviously, we point to a lot of the different Fisher Falcons players, but Darkside has been playing a well-rounded bit of Call of Duty throughout the entirety of the CCL LAN Championship Finals so far. Manny on the wrap back, playing the top side of the roof. Oklahoma Christian, a real good opportunity here to get a significant chunk of change in their back pocket to work with. Trying to bring this game a little bit closer. They know that the hit's coming directly in through computers. They're trying to go ahead and wrap this one all the way back. Manny here for one, traded immediately. 30 seconds of time here to go for the Fisher Falcons. You can feel the time running out from Oklahoma Christian. You can feel the desperation starting to kick in. You can feel the somber reality of knowing that this very well might be the final map that Manny, Prada, and Gus play within the CCL. It's a bittersweet moment to watch the champs go down, but it's not over yet.
Playing with heart, giving it everything they have here. As out towards new, they're going to have numbers mid-map. Prod is able to get things going, just trying to make anything stick. And for the moment, the setup is decent, but Fisher through numbers, trying to take it through mid. Darkside is going to be the one to open things up. Pour salt on the wound. Part of mid-map's going to try to stay alive, but they just overwhelm with sheer numbers. It is Fisher. Mid-map control once again, garnering more time. 20 seconds for the go.
They want the conversation. They want to be able to talk it through. They want to break back here on P1. But Phantoms on 3 in a row, fully streaked out, fully kitted with 15 seconds left, trying to close the deal here on the top side of Broken Window. Trying to get back out in the middle map. The gunfight won't be won for Manny. Just 5 seconds now remaining here for the Fisher Falcons to close out and end the chapter of the Oklahoma Christian reign inside of the CCL. They will do it in 3-1 fashion, and that will do it. That will conclude what has been one of the greatest runs in the finalization of a dynasty here inside of the CCL. The moment nobody wanted to see, the moment nobody wanted to feel, now hits us at the worst and the best of times for Oklahoma Christian. It's unfortunate. For the Fisher Falcons, they will be moving on with a 3-0 record to Sunday. They will have the #1 seed. They will play the 2nd seed coming out of Group B tomorrow in Winners Round 1. We'll take one more look here at the Oklahoma Christian side as the fist bumps are going around between both of these teams. And again, just one of those moments where we celebrate a team in the Fisher Falcons for being able to take out the Oklahoma Christian roster, but at the same time, knowing that the run is finally over and that this is the last time we will see them play here instead of the CCL. It's a moment that's going to hit you in the heart in some capacity. If you're an Oklahoma Christian fan, probably hitting you a lot harder. If you're one of the people that has been watching these guys over the last 4 years, it's hitting like a freight train right now.
And the respect these 8 guys have across from each other, even just seeing here on the player cams, right, them just talking back and forth. Obviously bigger than COD, the respect these guys have for each other, even outside of the game. So for it to go down in this fashion, right, feels poetic. You even called to it a little bit, I know, maybe even in the jovial sense, but in all honesty, for Fisher to be the one to kind of close the chapter on this dynasty,
Yep.
It feels about as fitting as a situation as this could be. But again, happy for Fisher for the showing they were able to bring, what they're able to do here tonight to, again, secure their ticket early on in the day to Sunday. How they didn't let off the gas. They want to go into Sunday on the right foot, and they definitely showed that here tonight. Yeah, they'll be feeling good as the favorite. We'll be able to look at the other side of things and kind of see how everything else shaked out. But for Oklahoma Christian, I mean, take a bow, for what they've been able to do. Like you said, it'll be a mainstay. They will be record holders forever. Records to be broken in the future that they have for now. And everyone will know whenever you talk college COD, right? Oklahoma Christian, everyone's going to be able to call back to that dynasty. So, I mean, what they've done here has been nothing short of magnificent.
We remember the Ottawas. We remember the Northwoods. We'll remember this era of the CCL as being one of the most highly competitive amongst the top teams between Oklahoma Christian, between Fisher, between St. Clair, between Northwood, even inside of this era. It's kind of like that secondary kind of movement after what we had from Season 0 up until about Cold War. After Cold War, that's when things started to kind of move forward again. MW2 season you think back to. Then you go to MW3, you get into the Black Ops 6 year, Black Ops 7 now, and that kind of second portion is really where we saw the newfound teams that kind of broke their way into a brand new era of the CCL, and it kind of got us to where we are now. But yeah, it's a bittersweet moment to see Oklahoma Christian go that way. But look, Fisher Falcons, we can't take anything away from them. They have been playing outstanding Call of Duty throughout the entire weekend. If I had to be completely candid with those of you who are watching right now, myself and to you, Amber, I would say we probably will be looking at the end of the weekend at a Fisher Falcons versus St. Clair Grand Finals, which should be some incredibly good entertainment here inside of the CCL for our final match on LAN. But look, nothing is fully formed or decided yet between any of these teams. We still have tons of matches that we are going to have to play through tomorrow. But these are the 2 top teams from each of their respective groups. Both went 3-0 on the day. St. Clair, I believe, went completely undefeated anyways.
We did get to watch Fisher's longest series, so I mean, if they're going to be on stream for the first time.
Also true.
We get to watch their longest series, so thank you, I think. Bittersweet, that's a good word. I think that'll be our word for the rest of the night.
Absolutely. That's the buzzword, folks. If you're wondering what that means, it means bitter and sweet at the same time. Thank you for joining the vocabulary lesson for the day. I appreciate you being here. But no, on a serious note, now that we have ourselves at least 2 teams that are guaranteed in there, Cumberland, Phoenix now also have themselves locked into Sunday with Oklahoma Christian losing. That's another huge point of conversation because that means they have guaranteed themselves top 4 for the first time inside of CCL history for their club. That's a huge moment for the guys over there at Cumberland as well. I know they've wanted this for a long period of time. Cal in his final season of CCL. I know we talked about Oklahoma Christian in their final season, but there's so many players that all kind of joined in and formed around at the same time that are going through their final stages, getting their degree programs finished, being able to walk away with degrees, graduating from their respective collegiate institutions. And it's like, okay, now that we have wrapped ourselves around kind of what CCL has become over the years and how much of an impact it has across the entirety of the collegiate scene for Call of Duty specifically. There's a lot of household names that we all know and love. Like, I just think to like some of the Texas State guys. I think some of like everybody else within like just kind of like the whole movement of what we've had throughout the year inside of the CCL and just over the last almost 10 years at this point that we've been going through. So yeah, it has been an incredibly wild journey. It has been a fun journey, and it will continue to hopefully be a journey in the future for a lot of these younger guys who are starting to compete in the CCL. Would love to see more and more faces continuously rising up to the challenges, but more importantly, more dynasties being built in the future. Because now that one chapter is closed, we're going to see another one open. Does it belong to Fisher? Does it belong to St. Clair? Is there another team that's going to rise to the rankings to get to a spot where they can now be the team that leads, isn't as the franchise face of the CCL? We'll have to find out. So much to play for throughout the rest of the weekend. We've got an interview coming up with the Fisher Falcons. After a short break, we'll get that set up. Don't go anywhere. You're watching the CCL LAN Finals for 2026 from the Impact Gaming Center in St. Louis. Well, after a 3-1 victory for the Fisher Falcons over Oklahoma Christian, they will survive to go 3-0 on the day from Saturday into Sunday. They will have the #1 seed coming out of Group A. We're now joined by Brack here on the desk. Brack, again, congratulations, as always, to you guys for being able to take down and, of course, kind of demolish the Oklahoma Christian legacy that now is fully fleshed out. Asked you a little bit beforehand in the interview, like how that felt for you guys, but kind of want to ask you again just to get your kind of final thoughts on that entire sequence that happened.
I mean, it feels really good. I think we're first seed going into tomorrow into bracket play, so that's always good. Good confidence booster for I think Logan too. He's really new, I would say. So I don't know. It feels good to get revenge versus them from them beating us last year. And yeah, I mean we're just feeling really confident. So
awesome.
Yeah, I think you talking about being like a last year get back. You kind of had something to carry over into this weekend. Now that you've I guess, knocked Oklahoma Christian out and punched your ticket into Sunday. Eyes going forward, do you guys have anything you specifically are working on going into Sunday? Or is it, hey, we're going to go out and play Fisher Falcons Call of Duty? Or is there something you guys kind of have that you're like, okay, we're going to make sure we have this sharpened by tomorrow?
I would say probably our S&D. I think we lost both of them today, or 2 today, and then 1 overload. So yeah, definitely just sharpening S&D going forward. Yeah. I was expecting them to make playoffs or the bracket play. I wasn't. I was really shocking for me, Cumberland making it through.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. Super excited. I think if the other bracket shapes out, I don't know what's going on with Group B exactly, but I'm looking forward to playing St. Clair.
St. Clair for sure is in. Yeah, they went undefeated all day. I think we were.
It was Wichita.
Yeah, waiting to see Wichita and Mars Hill is kind of who it
beat
was.
Mars Hill earlier on in the day. I'm not sure what the rest of the standings look like there because I know they were playing the match while you guys were playing as well. So we were kind of waiting for that for like the final standings from that.
Everyone
I know
was
St. Clair's obviously locked into tomorrow.
Yeah. Everything was still for grabs though, to an extent.
Yeah.
I mean, some a little higher than other, but everyone still could get in. But I think Wichita State was trying to make a run for it.
Gotcha. Yeah, super confident for tomorrow, and I don't know. We'll just see how it goes.
Yeah. I mean, realistically speaking, I think most people are under the assumption that it's probably going to be you guys and St. Clair in the grand final. In a best of 7 against St. Clair, what's kind of the most important thing that you guys are kind of trying to look out for to make sure that you're able not only stay on top of that, but be able to like properly adjust halfway through the series if needed?
I mean, I think we're going to go back and watch a little bit of VOD, talk about little things in our S&D, like I mentioned. They're a really well-oiled team, I would say. They've been playing with each other. They were a whole team last year in Challengers. So, I mean, they have really good teamwork and stuff, so we got to be on our A game, regardless of who we're playing, but especially versus them because they just have so much teamwork in every single mode. So, yeah, I just watch our VOD, work on our S&D a little bit, and then just go from there.
Yeah, you said you're confident going into tomorrow. Say you get to the grand finals, you're playing against St. Clair. Gotta know, what's the prediction?
I think they're pretty good. I'm gonna say we'll take it like 4-1.
4-1?
4-1.
I like
Yeah,
that.
feeling really confident. So
That's good stuff.
That is good stuff.
All right. Well, Brack, congratulations on the series win today. Obviously, you know, you kind of said it beforehand. You would have rather it been maybe with Rory in the
Yep,
lineup
yep,
instead.
yep,
Just
yep.
play them at full strength to really get the full get back from last year. But nonetheless, it was fun watching you guys play. You guys were fine, as always,
Yep,
as
thank
is
you.
tradition here inside of the CCL. With that being said, again, congratulations. Anything you want to say, shout-outs or anything like that before we go ahead and kick it?
yeah, I mean, just shout out to all the fans that are watching us. You know, got with the challengers going on, got the Huntsman, the Green Wall supporting. So if anyone's supporting me from there, be sure to tune in tomorrow.
Absolutely. Alrighty. Well, that's Brack from the side of the Fisher Falcons. As I'm sure everybody already knows you at this point in time, so there's not really much left to say. But that being said, a 3-1 victory is going to give them, again, the 3-0 inside of Group A for the standings. They will move on as the first seed out of Group A tomorrow. They will play the secondary team coming out of Group B. Oklahoma Christian knocked out. Cumberland will join them. St. Clair there. We've got one more team that we have to lock into the rest of the tournament to find who will be our top 4 tomorrow throughout Sunday, and who will be fighting for a championship inside of the CCL. We'll be stepping aside. We'll take a break. When we come back, we will go ahead and finalize everything and go ahead and close out on our show today.